We are here on a special Couch Coach Live edition. Happy Thanksgiving to everyone here. We got a great show lined up getting you ready for today's Thanksgiving Day matchups. What's going on, Aaron?
What's going on, man? How's everything been going with you?
Everything good, man. Just another, getting ready for these games today. And, once again, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, sir. Yes, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. It's
Yes,
just great to
indeed.
see some football.
Yes, indeed. Exactly. And like we said, so this is definitely gonna be a very interesting week as far as today's matchups. Well, we actually have, these matchups in a weird way have somewhat playoff implications where all these teams are essentially even in the hunt, even with the Detroit Lions being at 4-6, they still have a legitimate shot to potentially make the playoffs. So this is definitely gonna be an interesting, fun-filled day today in a week to start week 12 in the NFL season.
Absolutely. When you look at the Detroit team in week one, you probably think, oh, they're gonna be a fun team to watch, but they're not gonna win
Right.
many games. But now you look, they're in the playoff hunt right now. It's like nobody would have thought.
Exactly. Exactly. So, and obviously our guy Aaron is for definitely from the Tacos and Touchdowns
Yes, sir.
podcast. So I know, is this considered a touchdown, tacos and touchdown Thursday?
Yeah, hey, you might have some tacos or something on Thursday. You never know. I
Okay.
may get I might
Yes.
wrap a tortilla with some turkey on it or something. You never know.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I blame. Ain't nothing wrong with it because I'm always like what they call. It's almost like a mixture of cultures. Like when it comes, like, especially like the hibachi spot where you're like, okay, you know, you know, you have that type of situation. Let me add a tortilla. It's like one option because sometimes you'll have like an option where hey, you want rice or you want a tortilla. And I'm like,
Mm,
then with the like infusing different cultures, like something
yeah,
that's like an Asian type cuisine, and turn that essentially into like a to a Mexican dish. But yeah, it's gonna definitely be interesting. So Aaron, any particular like Thanksgiving traditions that you guys that you do out there in Texas?
so I heard that Texas. I'll give you that. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's a little extra south in there, but they kind of changed over the years. So it used to be when everybody was younger, so we'd all just come together like on and we play football a little bit outside. But since everybody got older and moved, it's kind of so it switched up since I got a girlfriend. So I first go to her house. We go there for a little bit until round two. I try to make that dash to Seguin before the Cowboy game starts on. So get there on my dad's family. We just be chilling, watching the game. So there's a lot of Cowboy fans in the group. There's like a couple of random Texan fans. I don't know. They're just there to hate. So that's all they're there for. But it's all good and fun. We just laughing and talking. But it's when it comes to food, I think we kind of keep to the traditional food. There's some Hispanic food in there involved, of course, but it just pretty much you got your turkey, your hams. I'm a big side guy now, so I'm one of the things I make some baracho beans, so it's some beans with some chili. Of
Yeah.
course, it got a little beer in there, so they call them drunk beans. But I've been making that for a few years, enjoying that. I actually got them working on that right now.
Yeah, for sure. And like you said, to me, like I kind of keep it simple as well too. Like as far as when it comes to like the food, usually it just like sometimes we host it at different places, but pretty much my uncle runs the show when it comes to cooking. Either it's usually at
Okay.
his house or my mother's house, but he the one that runs the show. He does his thing in the kitchen. So we always we get together, and I always like because I look at the Lions game as always like, okay, this I need to get myself ready. Because normally we get to whoever, either it's my mother's house or my uncle's house. I get there about 3, so we get ourselves together. And essentially, you still watching a little bit of that Lions game. Some of it, it probably about like fourth quarter by the time you get there. Then the main event is the Cowboys game because I think I got one of my uncles. He is a Cowboys fan. My aunt, she's a Cowboys fan. So they get together. So it's always they always talking smack, and then I always got to inject my Washington Commander bias, and all my other uncles, they had their routines, but Dallas, when it comes to that, they always rule it. We always get to eat probably about 4 something right before the game. Sometimes you'd be like, all right, I usually like take my time with it, so I might get like 8 plate during the game, and then like halftime, like you said, I'm a size guy. I probably get a couple scoops of macaroni and cheese, and some of my uncles, and like my uncle's stuffing is always amazing, like to a point where I freeze it. Like sometimes, once upon a time, we will freeze it, and like you'll be like it'll be like the NCAA tournament. You pulling out like stuffing. It's like we talked about on your show.
It's still good,
right? It still be fire. It'd be so good. Like even when like 4 months later, you'll pull that out the freezer like one day, random day, like in March. It's like 70 degrees outside. You eating some stuff from Thanksgiving, but hey, that's how good it is. But that, and then then obviously the nightcap. At least by the time you get home. About 8 something after the Cowboys game, pretty much everybody everybody go their own separate ways, and either the game is watching us the 8 o'clock game, or you stay up and watch it. 9 times out of 10, the game is gonna be watching me. So,
facts.
Facts. But yeah.
Hey, when you get that turkey, it gives you that itis. Turkey's basically melatonin. You might want to be taking some melatonin when you eat too much turkey. You be like.
Exactly. Yeah, that turkey get to knock you out. But yeah, that's why like what Plies say. You got Sunday is your cutoff when it comes to leftovers. After the Sunday hospital.
Hey, like you said, you freeze it if you really want it, though.
For sure, yep, freeze it. Like I do with my uncle's stuffing. Like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna get some this year and probably freeze it for a little while. I may not last the soup. It might be Super Bowl Sunday. I might pull it out. It's a little appetizer, but I don't know about March. March might stretch a little bit. But probably Super Bowl Sunday, or maybe like New Year's Eve or something like New Year's, something festive. So, right. So obviously, we talked about kind of like our traditions and what have you. So, and especially with you being a Cowboys fan, I know you have so many different great moments when it comes to essentially just the games you guys have played, or just even watching Lions games or other games. Now we've got that third game. Now, it's been a while since they've implemented that third game. So any favorite Turkey Day games, moments that stick out for you?
I actually thought about it too. I was thinking about this one today. So when it comes to moments, it's like listening to Pat Summerall and John Madden having his comic relief, the turducken, and just like at the end of the game, because I was like, one day that's to be me eating that turducken, and it was just fun watching that part. But one game, it's kind of more recent because I didn't want to think too back. So it was like in 2016 when when we were playing against the Commanders, and it was Dak and Zeke's rookie year. It's like you're seeing the new era of the Cowboys, and then that funny part when they both jump into the Salvation Army bucket. I just stuck to my head. I like, if I had to think of a memory, that's the one that kept popping up. I got to pick that one as my memory.
For sure, yeah. That one, it's funny. I remember that one because I was pissed. I was like, man, he should just stay in the bucket. I remember that one, but yeah, y'all got us on that one. Like you said, like those memories, like definitely the ones on on Fox, and then even like some CBS ones, like when Peyton Manning went off for the 6 touchdown game in 2004. That's where, and that was when the Lions, like everybody had their best game against the Lions. It's almost like when you looked at the schedule, like who the Lions playing on Thanksgiving, he gonna go off. That person gonna go off. So that, and then I had 2 memories, and so. Obviously, 2012, RG3's rookie year. Obviously that 304-yard performance and 4 touchdowns in that game. That was just an amazing, to see a rookie like that pretty much almost 10 years ago, which is crazy thing that's been 10 years.
I don't seem that long.
Right, I know, right? It just time just really flies by. And then our most recent matchup on Thanksgiving, that 41-16 win in 2020. That was another one. Antonio Gibson just went off in that game. That's when the defense started kind of really gelling to a point. I know we forced a lot of turnovers in that game, and that's one of kind of the turning point for this team that essentially went on to win the division. So yeah, those are some favorite Turkey Day games and memories on my end as well. So now going to actually the games up for the day. So obviously we have the Detroit Lions versus the Buffalo Bills. We got the Cowboys versus the Giants, and then we got the Patriots and the Vikings. So what are your storylines to watch in these three matchups today?
So when it comes to let's go to the Bills and the Lions game. I want to see if the Lions could keep that same momentum they came back after winning against the Giants. So they're playing against the Bills, who kind of been having their ups and downs, but they're having a really good season. I want to see how they can handle playing against the Bills. Like the Bills got a high power offense, and when it comes to the Lions, they kind of have this ground pound, gritty type of offense, but I think when it comes to the defense on the Bills, I think they're going to give the Lions some trouble. What do you think?
For sure. Yeah, I definitely think it's going to definitely – and, yeah, I definitely think their defense is going to really get to them. And like you said, I think Detroit to have somewhat legitimate shot. I think it's won't be I think when we looked at maybe the game, maybe like when the schedule was released, oh, yeah, this could be like almost like a Peyton Manning type situation where Josh Allen can have like 5 or 6 touchdowns. Not necessarily so. It's possible, extremely possible. But I definitely think this is going to be, it's definitely going to be closer than I think a lot of people would think. Okay. I look at that, like I said, we talked about like the Lions, like their 3-game win streak. And actually, they're trying to be 4-0 for the first time since 1969. So it's been a while since they've been undefeated in the month of November. I think they have the worst record in November out of any NFL team in history.
So, I think you're correct on that.
And yeah, that's crazy.
Ooh.
And that's bizarre. And like when I talk about the all these teams, like I talked about earlier, all these teams are actually in the playoff picture. Without maybe the exception of the Lions, but the Lions essentially they're gonna move up regardless, because if they win, because Washington and Atlanta plays on Sunday, so the loser of that is going to drop down and probably elevate Detroit. And then you think about if Washington loses, they'll have that tiebreaker potentially, and then they'll move up. So they could definitely, they got a legitimate shot in that wild card. And obviously the Bills are they kind of teetering. They went from being the number 1 seed, they was number 2 seed to the 6th seed after that. Well, no, that was number 1 when they lost to the Jets. And then now they're like, well, I don't know what they are currently, but I think at that time after that Jets loss, they ended up being 6th in the AFC. And I'm like, that's crazy to think, but that's how it is. And then obviously the NFC Beast. We got a matchup for the 2 NFC Beast teams, where you got the Cowboys and the Giants, where this is where I hate to say it like this, but the Giants somewhat of a must win for them, because obviously if you look at if Dallas wins this game, they pretty much going to have a stranglehold on that number 2 spot for a good little minute. So, because if the Giants because the Giants are 6-4.
Yeah, they're 6-4,
and they dropped to 6-5. And then obviously if Dallas win, would there be 8-3? No, 7-3. No, you're 7-3 now, right?
Yeah, 7-3. I had to think about it for a second.
Yeah. So that's another one where that's interesting. And then just what can the Bills? This is where I always look at these type of matchups too. Is like you got the Patriots who won in pretty much a buzzer beater. So
yeah, I see that.
And then you got the Vikings, like what the hell happened on Sunday? Losing by 37 points at home. And and it's kind of like the pressure's on for them because it's almost like especially when you had two, solid road victories, and then now you come home and then you lose to Dallas, and then do you want to lose to the Patriots? And they're another team that's fighting for a playoff spot in the AFC as well. I mean, in their respective conference in the AFC. So it's a lot of good storylines, and I think it's so funny about this week. These are really the best three matchups of the week. I looked at kind of week 12 as to tell them like there's only one game I think that's involved two winning teams, and
the Bengals and the Titans.
Yeah, and that's it.
That's it.
Everything else is just like, ooh, this is not good. But
it's lackluster. It's like
it really is.
Yeah, when you send me the thing, I'm like, oh, I'm trying to look for a game to watch outside of the Thanksgiving games. I'm like,
but thankfully, so it will, so pretty much, so it'll be really the games that we'll look forward to for the Thanksgiving. So so that's basically what that would be. So out of these three matchups that we got here, what is, you can be a homer with, it's all good. We here on Couch Coach Live, where being a homer is celebrated. Biases are welcomed here. The most intriguing game to watch in this in today's matchups, the Thanksgiving Day games.
I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna keep it biased, but I'm gonna go to the next game afterwards. But when it comes to the Cowboys and Giants game, like you were saying, these two teams are battling who's gonna be the number 2 spot. Like if the Giants lose, they drop to like I think 3 or 4 spot. I'd have to look at it again, but it's kind of one of those tough matchups. And then to add on to it, you're thinking of who wants to come to. There's this free agent named Odell Beckham who's interested going back to the Giants, or he could possibly go to the Dallas. And I think he said the day after he's gonna be visiting both teams, so that's gonna be interesting when it comes to that. But when it comes to like both offense, they're run heavy type of offense. The Cowboys are a little bit more balanced because they got more talent on the receiving core, but they both have two tough defenses when it comes to the passing game. But it all depends on who's gonna have the control of the run game and the clock. And when it comes to the Cowboys, we got to establish the run game first, how we did against the Minnesota Vikings. Not go back to that pass heavy where you're forcing throws, and that's where your interceptions happen. Like, stick to your bread and butter with Tony Pollard catching the ball in spaces, making those big yards for, like, I think he's averaging between 6 to 7 yards per carry. And Zeke can be that short yardage type of running back, get you those 3 to 4 yards. And possibly when you're like 3 to 4 yards from getting a touchdown, you put Zeke in there involved. But one thing I don't want to see is Dak running the ball where he's trying to stiff arm somebody. I need my man to slide. Like, hey, I was at that game 2 years ago when they played against the Giants where he got hurt. I don't want to see that. That was painful.
Yeah. And I definitely think, like you said, the Cowboys and the Giants probably going to be the most intrigue of it, just because of just the simple fact of just the implications behind it. Because pretty much this can probably determine who's going to be that second seed, essentially. Where with that's concerned, then I think considering the fact because if y'all do beat them, that's a sweep. That's a sweep of the Giants. So I want to say they're not mathematically out of it, but in the sense where it's like, it's gonna be an uphill climb. Even though it's never say never, but it'll be an uphill climb. For the Giants to get back to that second spot.
Yeah. It's crazy that we never thought all the NFC East teams are all playoff contention teams. So you may look at a playoff picture where all 4 of us are in there.
I know. I'm really hoping that happens. I really hope this happens. That's why I'm hoping like Seattle could, do their thing. And like you said, it's really like setting itself up for it, because you think about like it's weird because now, with the Giants, their loss to Detroit is just really like kind of glaring.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, are they gonna have a spiral? Because after that, then they got Washington, which I want that to be. There should be a Sunday night football game, but
it should be.
It should be flexed. It should be flexed, but they don't never show us love, because they didn't show us love on Sunday night. On what's the football night in America? It was just expecting us then. I'm like, okay, everybody still think it's a 2-team race, huh?
Did they just give y'all like a clip and then they went to the next game or something like that?
Yeah, they did that, and then I just don't. No one really takes us like, especially the crew on NBC. Never like look at us like like we even matter. But it's all good. Yeah, you'll be calling for us soon.
Hey, just use that as fire. That's all I can say.
For sure. But like I said, if all 4 of us make it, it would be amazing.
Yeah.
It would be amazing. And then I even thought about this, how odd it would be, like on some NFC East weirdness. What if the Eagles make the Super Bowl, right?
Man, don't say that.
No, right. It's just, we're not going with it, right? And they play the Buffalo Bills, right? And then they beat the Bills. And the thing, they've lost to every single team in the NFC East in the Super Bowl. Wouldn't that be crazy?
Man,
they would have bad Super Bowl losses. All their losses came to NFC East teams.
That'd be
wild.
I would like
right.
We were right there, and then we're gonna hear dreams and nightmares at the end of the Super Bowl.
Oh God, you're right about that. That's right. Oh my gosh. But I know, oh my gosh, that's starting to wear off. And I'm like, and he did it on Monday Night Football. I'm like, you know what? Good. Keep playing that.
Yeah. I'm glad y'all won. I'm gonna be honest, I was glad y'all won that game.
For sure.
That's give them some humble pie. That's what they needed, because
it is right. And it was crazy because being on shows all that week, like previewing it on some podcasts and doing some stuff, for other like Eagle podcasts and just NFL stuff that week. Everybody's talking about something, but the Eagles got a bad week. I'm like, really?
Dang.
A bad week? I'm like, all right, cool, okay. Like you said, motivation. Like I should have part of me I would have clipped. I should have clipped all that stuff, and it's just like it'd be like,
you should have put a side where it says that Michael Jordan quote.
Yeah, and I took that personal. right.
Man,
show you
any given Sunday. That's how I feel about any game.
Exactly. So,
yes.
any players that you're looking forward to watching today?
One player I'm watching, I'm gonna keep it biased again. It's just I want to see how the Cowboys' run defense goes against Saquon, who's the second leading rusher in the league right now, who's coming back from a terrible knee injury. He's been hurt for these past 2 years, and now he's making a resurgence, and he's now one of the second leading rusher. I want to see what this run defense goes against him. And then I think another matchup, honestly, I think that's my main player to watch. Who's your player to watch?
A few of them. I think definitely. I think it's gonna be Stephon Diggs. I think, and it's funny to think he's slowly creeping up. He's having somewhat of a record year. He's on his way. I looked at it he got 76 receptions already, and got a little over 1,000 yards, and got 8 touchdowns already. And I'm like, I think he's going to increase his total tonight. I mean, this afternoon. But yeah, I definitely think he's somebody I want to watch. Definitely. Then I want to see this Dallas defense against Daniel Jones, where obviously you guys, Kirk Cousins got sacked 7 times in that game, and I just want to see what you got, what your defensive front is going to have against Daniel Jones, where we know Daniel Jones, isn't the typical prototypical far as he can able to move out the pocket. What can he do? Daniel Jones is a tough quarterback in his own right, so. How can he handle that pressure? It's going to be kind of key for me. So definitely looking at what you guys do there. And then I kind of low-key I want to see what Jared Goff can do on this Buffalo defense. Because, last week he had, pretty much a Taylor Heineke type game, 165 yards and 0 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. So I want to kind of see what he does in this week. As far as will he be the game manager, or he'll or essentially do some more. So those are kind of the players I'm looking forward for today, and I think Kirk Cousins kind of more so just see how he rebound against the Patriots. I think that's going to be a little intriguing, but yep.
Absolutely. I just thought about one more player, and that'd be
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, seeing how he goes against the Patriots.
Yeah.
After last week, I think we held him to like 38 yards. I want to see if he can make that after having a bad game. I want to see what he can do after a short week. And now you're playing against the Patriots, who have a veteran coach. They're going to coach up that defense and trying to minimize him getting those catches. I want to see what he can do. Just shake it off, or is he going to kind of just like, man, I'm still feeling that Cowboy game? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, because if you can stop him, that's the big thing. Yep. Yeah, big time. So we'll put a bow on the preview for the day. So get your predictions, and we're gonna do our predictions plus the score. So we got the 12 o'clock, the 12:30, 12:20-ish game.
Yeah, some weird time.
Yeah. So who you got this Bills-Lions game? Who you got?
I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills are going to bring it. I'm trying to think of a score. The score that comes to my head right now, I say 34-17 Bills.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny. I got the Bills winning 34-28.
Okay.
Yeah, so yep. All right, we got the Cowboys and the Giants. What you got?
You already know I got the Cowboys 21-17. It's gonna be a close game, but the Cowboys can come and bring it. Money Maher is on a roll. He just had 120 yards worth of 2 60-yard field goals, but it is what it is when it comes to that one.
I actually got the Giants squeaking this out 24-19. Yeah, I got the Giants 24-19.
I ain't heard. It's all good.
It's all good. It's all right. We got the Patriots and the Vikings in the nightcap. Who you got?
Oh, I actually like that game. I think that's going to be a close game, to be honest.
I think so too. Yeah.
I've got that game 19-17. I'm gonna go with the Patriots on that game. I think they're gonna outcoach the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, I got the Patriots winning 27-21.
Okay.
So I definitely think, like you said, I definitely think Bill Belichick is gonna get a win on Thanksgiving against this. It's time to get back down to earth for Minnesota. I think they're a good team. But they got exposed Sunday, and I think they squeaked out some wins, and so I think this is just an opportunity now to kind of reel it back in and just realize, hey, some of those wins they were close, and they were going against like backup quarterbacks. I think a lot of people don't realize that as well too. So
that is true.
We shall see, but I definitely think that's how it's going to play out. So before we head on out. On this Thanksgiving edition of Couch Coach Live. Aaron, tell them where they can find you on social media and the upcoming project, what you got going on.
Yes, sir. So you can check out Tacos and Touchdown live every Thursday. We may switch it up on a Friday. You never know. But we're on Twitter. We're on Facebook. It's Tacos and Touchdown live on Facebook. And then on Twitter. And I don't want to miss anything, but we're definitely trying to get the audio back. So we're gonna have that on I almost forgot but on Spotify. I almost lost my train of thought. But it's all good. But you could go check us on Instagram too. So we got reels and stuff. Did a little things for the small school Texas Lutheran University. So you can check out our Instagram at Tacos and Touchdowns. So be dropping some college football and some NFL posts and stuff. Go check us out at Tacos and Touchdowns, and on Facebook, Tacos and Touchdown Live. So I appreciate you, Coach, for letting me be on the show tonight.
Yes, indeed. Definitely appreciate it. And so follow the show, Couch Coach Live, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram under Couch Coach Live. Check out the website, couchcoachlive.com, and pretty much the app. The podcast is available on Apple, Spotify, anywhere you get your podcast with there, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube and just search Couch Coach Live, and we're there. Check out all our content there. So definitely, once again, definitely appreciate you, Aaron, for coming on. For Couch Coach Live on a special Thanksgiving Day edition of Couch Coach Live. And once again, thank everybody for tuning in, and definitely enjoy this day of football, family, and food. So definitely, once again, appreciate everybody for checking us out, man. And this has been a Thanksgiving edition of Couch Coach Live, and we'll catch you guys at our regularly scheduled time next week. Enjoy the holiday.
Yes, sir. Y'all get that turkey.
Yes, sir. We out.